Hello, and welcome to Admit One, your movie and TV podcast, right here on Rabbit Hole Media. I am one of your hosts, Jack Nelly Thompson, and as always and as usual, I am joined by one Kristian Lasham.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright.
I did a head shake.
I'm okay. I have had an odd day. Day off. Got up early. Take my car to Croydon for an MOT because I get...
God, was that today?
Yeah.
That felt...
Yeah,
that conversation we had feels like weeks ago.
Cheaper for me to do that. I get staff discount rates, isn't it?
Is
my
it
old
cheaper?
Daddy. Yeah. It was substantially cheaper.
For an MOT?
Yeah, it was like half the price of what they'd normally charge.
They're really not that expensive.
Still saving money.
Yeah, but How much are you paying for your MOTs?
I paid like 20-something quid today.
I pay like 30 quid and I have to go 50 yards
Yeah, it does
from my
depend
house.
on where you go. So Volkswagen will charge a little bit more, but I have a service plan thing with Volkswagen, so
Yeah.
they do my service at the same time and pay for that. And then there's like a cover thing where like if it fails the MOT, they'll cover like up to like £800 or something. But I have to have the MOT done with them to get that.
Yeah. That's the difference.
Otherwise, yeah, I think their MOT is like 50 quid or something.
I don't know if I've got a service plan on my car. I can't remember, quite frankly.
But either way, I got a thing, and yeah, it was fun. I went up there. I tried some. I looked at some cars. That was a fun time.
Yeah, I find looking at cars fun and depressing.
Oh, it was definitely fun and depressing. Yeah.
Because I go look at these niceties that people live in while
Yeah.
I'm in squalor in my mini bitch of a
Nearly
car.
every car in this place is horrendous money as well.
Oh yeah, your VW. Yeah.
Yeah, and the amount of cars that they sell. You know, I was there for a couple of hours this morning, and my dad sold like 5 when I was there. And it's just like, where do all these people get their money?
Prostitution.
It's just mental. Where are people
Indentured
getting like £400-500 a month on these cars, like to spend on these cars so happily? So what?
Do I have a lovely car? No, I used to have a lovely car. Boris fucked life, and I had to give it
But
up.
somehow these people still...
It's because they voted for Boris,
It's like, but
and
what
now
do
they're
they-
voting for Rishi
but What do
Balsack.
they do? I don't understand what
Gargle on
these
Rishi's
people
ballsack is
do.
what they
Because
do.
whenever I look for a job, it still pays
Pittance.
less than what I get paid now.
Yeah, I know. It's
But
fucking
it's like, I
despicable.
don't understand what these people do to earn their money. It's just mental to me. I really don't get it.
No.
And like you see people young, like 10 years younger than me, like making like
You
triple.
see-
It's like, what? I
See,
don't
the guy
understand.
that started Gymshark has become one of the youngest billionaires in the world.
I don't know what that is.
Gymshark is just a like an exercise clothing brand.
All right.
So basically, he put a logo on gym clothes in his parents' basement one day, and now he's one of the youngest billionaires in the world.
I hate it. I hate it. That is
Basically, he found like there
That
was a
was luck.
specific material that was a bit stretchy,
right.
and he was just like, "Yeah, let's sell this in the shape of clothes, and people can exercise in it."
It was luck.
Yes.
There was nothing more than luck.
Yes.
There are probably thousands upon thousands of people that have designed probably the exact same product.
Agreed. Yes.
It's luck. I hate it. I hate everything about this planet. Other than Chris Hemsworth. I like Chris Hemsworth.
I've never met him in person.
Oh, yeah, he might be an utter prick.
He might be.
Yeah.
He's Australian. There's a high chance.
Yeah.
Anyway, some info about this movie.
Jack bought me an Easter egg. It will sit here for a while. For a while here. And until it is eaten. There you go. Hannah says signal trains. That will get you a nice car or become substantially disabled. Both those avenues work for me. I would like to do the train thing, but no one's hiring apparently.
To be fair,
so.
obviously entirely subjective, and I'm just going to throw that out there. But you did manage to buy the only not that nice Audi.
Ooh, that is throwing some shade. I've decided I would
jest.
quite like to be a train driver. I've properly looked into that job and I'd really like to do that. But it seems to be the only way to get that job is to train for like 3 years. As in like
And then be on some form of waiting list.
Yeah, to then still not have a job at the end of it.
Yeah.
It's
Why do
mental.
they think like there's so many of these jobs where there's so fucking many barriers to entry that We will, don't worry. Although there won't be that much.
Yeah,
there won't be that much silence, but suggestive moaning for
There'll
sure.
definitely be like a sort of tapping noise.
There are so many of these jobs that have such a high barrier to entry, and they're like, why aren't people joining? Yet any fucker can become a policeman.
Yes, I know.
It's a prerequisite to be a moron, I think, these days, to go into that field. But here we are. Obviously, like, the only, I think, jobs that should have really high barriers to entry are doctors and anything that surrounds that. Lawyers.
Pilots. I'd argue pilots.
Is that a high barrier to entry, or is there just training involved? That's a genuine question.
That's a fair point, though. That's a fair point.
Genuine question. Because train driver, as you said, you've got to do multiple years of training, and then you might not get a job. I feel like pilot, you probably will.
Yeah.
There are so many different forms of pilot.
Yeah.
Like, you could be a commercial pilot, you could be a fighter pilot, you could be you could just be like
An X-wing pilot.
You could be an X-wing pilot. You could be a private jet pilot. A private pilot. I don't know why that's really enough.
Be a pilot light.
Indeed. You could be a pilot episode of television. You could be.
Oh, we're fucking
Safety of many lives, but also.
pretty much. I mean, I imagine there's a bit more to it than that, but pretty much.
There are some buttons.
Yes.
There are some buttons. But I also. There is. And rightfully high barrier in sense of that training, sure.
Yeah,
but the
yeah.
fact that it's then ridiculously difficult to get a job on the other end makes that training a complete waste of time. Just want to throw that out there. You could be a bus driver instead.
Pass.
Oh.
I will say, disappointingly vast amount of packaging.
It's an Easter egg. What do you expect?
Yeah, it just annoys me, you know. It's like, you have the opportunity here. And you've made most of that egg cardboard.
I mean, if you have it that way around, you can see there are chocolates in the bottom. But
Yeah, all right.
what?
I almost dropped it.
That would have been silly. Don't
Would've
break
been.
the egg.
Hey, you know
Hi,
what they say?
Tomb.
If you want to make a few omelettes, life gives you lemons.
Don't use this egg to make an omelette.
How many of these do you get?
8? 7?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's an odd amount.
Literally.
Yes, yes.
Anyway, some news about Ragnarok.
News?
News? Some information about
We
Ragnarok.
are 8 minutes in.
I don't give a fuck. Released on the 24th of October 2017 with a budget of $180 million. So we just assume that the budget was $180 million going forward.
That seems
because
to
that
be
seems to
a
be
regular
the budget.
occurrence, yeah.
With a worldwide gross of $855,301,806.
Money dollar.
Many dollar. What are your general thoughts on this movie, Kristian?
That doesn't go back in. Oh, well, first of all, these are excellent. I really appreciate you getting me these. Fucking good.
What?
These are good. Do you want one?
Well, I'm not going to say no. I mean, I've got loads at home, but I'm not going to say, I'm not going to say no.
Oh, I just want to reaffirm our ranking was correct.
What, that this is the best?
Yes, so
100%.
good.
Basically, if
They
this-
are like the Uncharted 4 of Lindor.
fucking Higgins. Two. That's like saying the salted caramel ones were the best. Didn't we put those last?
I think so.
Yeah. I stand by that. Salted caramel and dark were the only ones I didn't pick out of the pick and mix thing. Oh, well, Rich, I never said I got the pick and mix box of Lindors while I was in Sainsbury's because you can't put that in front of me.
Because you have no self-control.
Yeah, essentially. That's why I also bought Resident Evil 2 earlier. But I even got a pistachio one to try.
All right.
I haven't tried it yet. I'm scared. Yeah.
Any which way, I really like this film. I think this is a very good film. I think it holds up really well. It's in this era where I feel like Marvel just knew what they were doing. Like, everything seems to work. I think it's got the right amount of comedy. It's a lot of comedy, but it's the right amount of comedy. I think pretty much all of the comedy hits. The action side of it is serious when it needs to be, and again, all stands up. It's a standalone story that doesn't really matter to the overall universe, while somehow still progressing the universe, which is the balance I don't think they can work out at the moment. They don't seem to know how to do that. Some good characters get introduced, good use of characters we already know. Great. We're starting in this era where we're starting to get the payoffs and the callbacks, which, you know, all the character building we've had and all of these jokes we've been setting up are starting to now come into play. This is like really when we're in the epitome of what's good about the MCU, and I had a really good time watching this the other day.
Agreed. I think this is Guardians 1, Love and Thunder is Guardians 2, and this is an action comedy. Mm-hmm. The sequels are just comedies, and they lose everything that made them good.
I think Love and Thunder goes even further, though, because Love and Thunder becomes like a complete parody of a film.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And like,
it's just shit.
Yeah, I was thinking about when I was watching this as well, because some of the jokes are similar. Mm-hmm. Some of it is...
A lot of the jokes are similar.
But it doesn't seem to work for me in Love and Thunder. And I think the reason why is because in this, there is still a certain amount of grounded nature to everything where... at least some of the characters recognize that what is happening is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Like, Thor has some jokes in this, and he's a bit more chilled out than we've seen Thor so far. But he is he is aware of what is happening around him is mental. Like, all the crazy stuff, the weird ass fucking jokes, the things that would almost feel out of place, don't, because he reacts to them happening, or another character reacts to them happening. Whereas in Love and Thunder, every gag that they go for is it's a self-hitting gag, it's self-targeting.
Self-deprecating.
Self-deprecating, that's the word.
It just becomes all the characters become...
All the characters become...
the Thor level of comedy.
The parody.
Yeah, whereas in this, I feel like Thor is the comedian. You've got, like, Korg and stuff in there as well, but in the Valkyrie, Loki, Hulk, and all that aren't really the sources of this weird comedy, which kind of makes Thor stand out more, and it kind of makes.
But when they are, because there are moments where they are,
yeah,
but when they are,
for sure.
But even when they're the source of the slightly weirder comedy, what happens is it switches where another character isn't. Mm-hmm. So Thor will become more serious. So for example, like I'd say when we first meet Valkyrie. And she comes down and she lands, and you get the thing of the ship landing, and then she walks out and you get some epic music, and then she just falls off drunk. And it's like, that's a silly slapstick parody joke that really doesn't fit. But it fits because everyone else around reacts to that being ridiculous, including Thor. Thor in that whole moment is still quite serious. And that's what makes it work, because it's ridiculous in context of the film, or what's happening in that world. It's stupid, which is why it then becomes a successful gag. And that's what Love and Thunder completely misses the point on.
Agreed. But yeah, this is great. This is a great time. There are some many gags. Obviously, you get some excellent new characters. As we just mentioned, Korg and Valkyrie being two of them. Mm-hmm.
Even the Grandmaster.
Yeah. God of Sparkles. But yeah, Grandmaster, and like the setting, and just... very simple, very self-contained in a weird way story. Yep. I do think there's this weird disconnect for me with all the stuff to do with Hela. Mm-hmm. Like, it's boring. I don't care. What boring character? I just think she's one of those characters who couldn't give a fuck about anything she's doing. Like, what a waste of Cate Blanchett as well.
Yep. I agree. She's not the selling point of this movie.
It's almost like this movie is great in spite of Hela. She's just one of those. She's really bland. She's really boring. I'm evil because I'm evil. Mm-hmm. I'm evil for evil's sake. I'm far too powerful to make for any of the action scenes involving Hela. There's lots of good action scenes, but none of them involve Hela.
Yeah.
She's just too she spawns swords and everyone dies instantly.
The fight scene I know I said pretty much the opposite to this the other week, but hear me out. The fight scene when she's like just slaughtering the Asgardians, which is all CG, looks stupid.
Oh yeah,
It looks awful.
It doesn't look good.
Yeah, it does not. And I was saying the other week that I can normally let bad CG go. I can't in this one. Like it's like this. Looks
I think there's a difference between.
It's that particular scene.
There are nuances to whether or not you can let bad. The royal you can let bad CG and stuff go. If it's a weird composite thing, like it's fine. But this just looked janky. No one looked real. Yep. Everything looked really just fake.
Had major Matrix Reloaded vibes with all the Agent Smiths.
Like this gets used too regularly and is obviously inaccurate as a statement. But the PS2 the PS2 cutscene thing. Obviously, it's far superior to that, but the general statement in that one, we're in spoilers. Did Hela die? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she didn't survive.
I would presume so, but you never fucking know. With the MCU now, they'll run out of ideas. She'll be back. Loki didn't die in this film, so obviously stole the Tesseract. It's only one or the other. That's true. I just got annoyed with her repeatedly brushing her hands over her hair and making her horns appear. That happened one too many times. It does happen a lot. She looks so much better with the gothish long hair. To be fair, yeah, she looked better without the helmet on than the helmet. What is it with Odin's children and horns?
We make a statue of me with the big bendy horns.
Matt Damon's greatest role.
I loved that whole section, that gag, and I mentioned this back when we did Thor: Dark World, that that whole scene they're playing out is Loki dying in that film, and there's a choir singing some music, and the music they're singing is the actual music that's playing. Is the score, and that's a great touch. I love it.
Yeah, I also like you could read into who the actors are as well. So Sam Neill, a well-respected actor. Matt Damon is playing Loki, and then the shittest Hemsworth is playing Thor.
It's excellent. I love it.
I say shittest. Least famous. Yeah, I should say. I've never seen anything other than this.
I know his
and
name's
Love and
Luke,
Thunder. But yeah, his name's Luke. Yeah.
There's some reason there's a running joke with me and my friend Simon. We always used to call him Chad Hemsworth. I'm not really sure why. But we did.
Yeah, according to people on the internet, you can like read into any scene in the MCU, and there's some form of reference and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, some of it's a bit much.
Yeah. There was a thing going around the other day about how Bucky dies in the new Captain America movie because in the trailer there was a grave that had Barnes on it, and I was like, but there isn't a trailer, you fucking idiots. Anyway.
Yeah, I was like, where's that coming from?
I was like, there isn't a trailer. Oh, dearie me. I now have a horrible vision of Mr. and Mrs. Hemsworth calling him the shit one. Imagine, though, your two younger siblings being that much more famous than you. And more successful. Obviously, the fame is irrelevant, really, but they're just so much more successful. Obviously, the middle brother in particular, but it was nearly Liam. Mm-hmm. That would have been a shitter MCU, wouldn't it? Because
yes,
Liam isn't great.
Yes,
it's not usually the sign of top tier movie making.
What's the role he's just taken? Oh, he's The Witcher, isn't he? Don't judge until we see it.
I'm judging hard.
He might be really
good. He's not Henry Cavill.
No, but he might be. We might go, oh shit, Liam Hemsworth's quite good in this. Yeah. I reckon he can get some abs as well. It's in his DNA.
Oh, he's already built.
Yeah,
it's not the physical appearance I have. Weirdly enough, you can get monotone actors who, weirdly enough, can't play monotone characters. I'm not saying Liam Hemsworth is a monotone actor, but I'm just saying it's more difficult than you'd think to pull off being...
My God. They haven't pulled you off?
Piss off, Ghost. The ground. It's more difficult to pull off being a complete monotone thing than you would expect. But... I will watch season 3 because it's Henry Cavill, but I don't think I'll watch beyond that.
No, that's fair.
And it's not a video game adaptation. Chris Ray Gunn.
Oh, yeah, I thought that when he said that on a show recently.
He says it all the time.
Yeah.
Every time video game adaptations get brought up, he brings up The Witcher. I'm like, it's not! Stop it! Fuck off! Stop! It's not! It's one of those things that angers me for no reason. There is no bearing.
Good reason. He is a host of the most successful PlayStation podcast of all time. He should know better.
Yeah, that's true. It's an adaptation of the book.
Hannah says, yeah, but he's enough of an actor to have good money and mild fame while still being anonymous enough to live a normal life if he so chooses, and can probably get away with murder because his parents expect so little of him as he's the shittest one. I feel like
Are we talking about Luke or Liam here? Because I was like, I can guarantee Liam Hemsworth cannot be walking around the street and not being recognised.
He's probably talking about
For one,
Liam.
he was married to Miley Cyrus.
For like a week. And then they fucked that up.
Yeah, but like multiple of her biggest songs are about it.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I feel he should sue for royalty. I'm kidding. Also, you know all these artists that release songs about their breakups and what have you. So I think there's a very big difference between Miley Cyrus and Taylor Swift. All of Miley Cyrus's ones are about the same guy.
Yeah.
All of Taylor Swift's, each song and every album is about a different guy. There is one common denominator between all these failed relationships. Look inward, Miss Swift. Maybe you need to change something in yourself. Maybe you're the problem. Maybe you're the reason these people don't like you very much. Just saying. Even if your heartbreak is a bit catchy.
Very good. Very good. I enjoyed that. Thank you.
I just see enough of this. Oh my god, another man breaking Taylor Swift's heart. Maybe she's the cunt.
And she broke his heart and then wrote a song about it to ridicule him.
Yeah, because there's
in front of
stuff about
65,000 people.
Jake Gyllenhaal and all this, that, and the other. Like, no, stop. Just die alone. But then you wouldn't be a millionaire. Stop it. You're a problem.
Anyway, Thor Ragnarok. No Taylor Swift in this.
I wouldn't be fucking surprised if she's in the next episode of Mandalorian.
I know, right?
What is the... I haven't even watched it. I can say that this is the shittest thing Star Wars has done. Why is every episode just about some form of nonsense cameo? Like, and even... Look, this episode, whatever number this was, hadn't even come out yet properly. It was, or had just come out. And there was like the trailer for the next episode teasing this famous character return. Or, fuck off! Just make a show, Dave Filoni, or like just. He writes these seasons based on what happens when he drops a box of action figures.
That's because they were going to end it with Mando 2, surely, and then they suddenly went, "Oh, everyone likes Baby Grogu, and this is selling well. We're going to have to like bring him back and do more and shoehorn some more story together."
This is why
Thor.
The Ahsoka trailer, I felt nothing watching that trailer. I watched it and just went, "Cool." More Star Wars.
I've actually eaten a lot of chocolate this evening, and this is a really bad idea, but I can't help myself.
I mean, I can just take them if you want. Not permanently, I just mean...
Okay.
Move them away from you for the moment. I won't eat them.
They are very good. When you break through...
Yep.
Mm.
Yep. Yep. What were you talking about? What's your favourite scene in Thor? No, I'm still on Star Wars.
Thor? We did that like 12 weeks ago.
I think that's what she said. You cheeky bastard. Gold nipples.
It's one of those days.
You may as well press the button.
Pedant.
I watched the Ahsoka trailer and...
we're still on that, okay.
Yeah, because I never finised my Thor. We distracted me with gold nipples and chocolate.
Sorry, never finished your Thor.
I felt nothing. I was just like, cool. This is another Star Wars thing that you could have You could have told me this was the trailer for Obi-Wan. I would have believed you. Or Mandalorian, or Boba Fett, or any of the Star Wars movies. We're getting that sliced bread sequel. Sliced bread? White bread sequel is what I meant. As in, Rey is as interesting as white bread.
I understood. I saw someone tweet, it was a TikTok about that movie, and it was then the clip of Ron Swanson saying, like, I don't think I'm interested in that. Actually, no, I know I'm not interested in that, whoever it is. Like, I'm not sure I'm interested in that.
Actually, no, I am sure. I am not interested in that. Yeah, I agree. I couldn't give a fuck. Couldn't give a fuck. And my point I was making to you about the other one was that it has such potential, but Kathleen Kennedy is so thick as pig shit that I think it would just, the aesthetic will be exactly the same, even though it's 25,000 years in the past, because nothing has changed visually or anything in the Star Wars universe, considering the 9 movies take place over the course of about 70 years. Like, have you seen? Did you?
There's some new droids.
Are they new droids? Or are they just new to the films?
Yeah, they're new to the films.
That doesn't count. Like, if they were around, it's one of the technology doesn't change at all.
Like, R2-D2 is old.
Yeah,
Technology doesn't last that long.
Well, yeah, exactly. C-3PO is old as well. Like they're both like 70 years old.
Yeah.
No, I feel like no one thinks about the fact that like a lot of time has fucking passed in these movies.
C-3PO and R2-D2 are probably, it's like the mop thing. Like, they've probably had so many components changed over the years.
Oh, like the ship of Theseus.
Yeah.
Are they still C-3PO?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Anyway, Thor Ragnarok. I like this movie, despite the fact we've not
What is your
spoken
favourite
about
scene
it for 26 minutes. Oh, good question. I don't know. I am a big fan of the obvious section of the arena fight with Hulk. I am a big fan of that sequence. There's
a good sequence.
Good comedy in there. Some good action. Loki. I do think this is Loki's best film.
Oh, I agree.
He's great in this.
100%.
And they sort of, I think, bring the character arc around really nicely and give him a redemption that makes sense. And I think really, really good. It's a shame that we get that for approximately another 30 seconds in the future and it all goes to shit again. So,
yep.
Yeah, but the arena scene's so good. Just with the whole, he's a friend from work and the way Loki's reacting to it all. And
a fact that everybody knows is that line was written by a Make-A-Wish child.
Yep.
Just throw that out
That
there.
Make-A-Wish child has come up with one line which is better than I can ever come up with, ever.
Yes. Yeah.
I will never
and the
come
fact
up
that
with
they
anything
then
like it.
ad-lib off of it
Yep.
later, like, you're embarrassing me, I told them we were friends!
And all of that's so good as well. All of that humour's great. So I really like all that. I actually also really like the sequence where Thor and Hulk are chatting afterwards. And they're kind of bickering. And
Puny arms.
but all of that, because they're bickering and fighting, and then they sort of come down to still sitting down and being friends and chatting. And I really like that for the same reason I've praised the other MCU movies that have done this, of showing a kinship between the Avengers. And, the last movie we saw doing that was Age of Ultron, really. And we haven't... Thor and Hulk was kind of in it, but... No, Thor wasn't it. What am I thinking? What was the film we watched afterwards?
Civil War.
Civil War, that's it. Thank you. And they're not in that film, so then giving them that moment together, I think's really good. So I'm a big fan of all that. I do like Korg in this movie. This is before they fucked Korg up.
I agree.
Korg in this movie is very good. He's the right amount of comic relief. The humour is really good.
I think the problem going forward is that they overuse him.
Yes.
I don't think he changes really in any particular way.
They
They just overuse him.
I agree. 'Cause I think every line that comes out of him in this film is funny.
I still think the best joke in the MCU is Piss Off Ghost.
It's not even a joke, and it's
No,
good.
I know.
The other thing that I really like about that scene, subtle, but I really like it. So he runs in, piss off, ghost, kick the wall, and then Meek comes around the corner, like to help. And I really like that. I don't know what it is. Something about Meek also running the corner. Like, what's going on? I really like. It's very good. Yeah, I like all that. But I think the other. He's got so many because I also like his whole.
No need to be afraid of me unless you're made of scissors.
Yeah, it's just a rock, paper, scissors joke. And then it's like, well, you're made of rock. It's a perishable rock. Oh, look, it goes there. It's all really good stuff.
And and Rich brings up the didn't make enough pamphlets.
Yep.
Started a revolution. Didn't make enough pamphlets, so nobody showed up other than my mum and the boyfriend, which I hate.
But also, even like when they're starting to go to the arena, and he's like, "Oh, this is gross. Can you please clean your weapons?" Like, all of that's really funny as well.
The little what we do in the shadows joke.
Yes,
the
Thor
I
thing.
can't think of a use of this, and you had 3 vampires huddled together.
And the hammer wanking joke. It's very good.
The hammer pulled you off. Sounds to me like you had a strong, intimate relationship with this hammer, and losing it is almost comparable to a loved one.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of. I like all that. Very good stuff.
Good luck, new Doug. Doug's dead.
And the Hulk and Banner stuff's really good as well. I think it's really good. I think I like this version of Hulk more than I do Smart Hulk, or whatever we call.
I fucking hate Smart.
Yeah,
Hulk.
well, we've discussed this before. Don't like Smart Hulk. I like this version of Hulk, and I like this version of Banner and the wrestling between them. Still, I find that interesting. It's an interesting
It's why
thing
Hulk
to play
became
with.
a famous character. Because
Yes.
that is interesting. That fucking parallel between the two characters is interesting. I also like the fact that they make. Well, for some reason in media, I like dumb, smart characters.
Yes.
Banner is obviously incredibly smart, but he acts dumb.
Yeah.
Like he seems so dumb. And
He's
just like, what?
There's also an element of which it just makes sense because this is the dumbest we've seen him, but it's because he's been Hulk for 2 years.
Oh
so
yeah,
he's fucked up.
Fried. He's gone.
Yeah, but I think he plays it really well, and it works so well, and it adds another interesting dynamic of like, man, shit's gone fucking crazy for this guy. And I think why Smart Hulk was disappointing is it's like, well, where's that going to go? How's he going to fix this issue with the Hulk? How's he going to work that out?
And it was just off screen.
Yeah, I mean, because I liked all the stuff they do in Infinity War,
and all the stuff that was cut from Infinity
Yeah.
War as well, and like that. I feel like so many films in the past, and I don't know how this still happens, have developed problems because they cut things that lead to this thing. All the scenes in Infinity War were meant to lead to Smart Hulk. There was meant to be, we've talked about it before, there was meant to be this whole moment in the battle in Wakanda at the end where they've had that arguing back and forth throughout the entire movie. Hulk won't come out. Then you have... In one of the arguments, Banner just says, we need to make a deal. And then later on, you just have Hulk burst out of the Hulkbuster armor, which just as a shot.
it's fucking cool.
Cool as hell! And there was concept art for it. And there was like deleted scenes and stuff for it. And it's like, I wanted that. I didn't want Smart Hulk.
No.
But at least that would have led to it.
They
It
do
would have made more
start
sense.
leading it in this one because he talks about he says to Thor, he's like, it's weird. Normally it always felt like one of us each had a hand on the wheel, but this time it was like I was locked in the trunk and he was in control. And and then he says something like, if I turn into him again, I don't know if Banner will ever come back. And that is leading into Banner hasn't come back really, except for that one fucking weird shot at the end of fucking Shang-Chi.
At the beginning of...
And the beginning of She-Hulk, yeah. But, like, still something that's never really been fully played into. We also have decided that She-Hulk doesn't exist. We don't talk about She-Hulk.
That's fair. We did talk
The
about
show
how,
that must not be named.
Terrible it was earlier. I did somehow the conversational topic of genocide led us to She-Hulk.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. I was basically saying that if I did that, we at least wouldn't get season 2 of She-Hulk.
I don't think we will anyway, surely.
Probably not. But a lot of people like it. That's the problem. That is the problem with the universe.
Yes, but a lot of people are dumb as fuck.
Yes, I agree.
Rich
but
says...
it's usually the people making these decisions. Rich says, I hate that I like the dropping from the ship intent and turning Hulk and splatting on the ground. That was funny.
Fucking hilarious.
It's funny.
It's hilarious because it's the little reference to Incredible Hulk. And
It's the reference to Incredible Hulk. It's also a reference to the Avengers because they basically spell it out. You never see it, but he says that he can't die.
Yeah.
If Banner dies, Hulk just gets up.
Yeah.
And then Banner's back. So just that.
It's so funny. The whole shot of that, because there's like big serious moments as well, and he's like, you want to know who I am? And he jumps out, and it just cuts this wide shot. The music cuts out, and just dunk.
And then Fenrir's just like, what the fuck was that?
It's hilarious. The noise it makes is so fucking funny.
It's excellent. You shouldn't hate liking that. It is 10 out of 10. I love his reaction to this. There's no weapons on the ship. He just uses it for orgies. For what?
Don't touch anything. Yeah. It's my birthday.
It's my birthday. Use one of your PhDs. I don't have a PhD for flying an alien spaceship.
I also really like at the end, like when fucking Seltar, whatever his name is, I always forget. Surtur is there, and then Hulk just like jumps in, and he's like, "Can you just for once, like, it's not?" He's like,
"Big monster."
I really like it. It's very good.
I like Hulk being a 2-year-old essentially.
Yes, but I like the reason I like this version of Hulk because he's a 2-year-old, but is able to communicate and emote, and like it's interesting because it's different to Banner. Mm-hmm. But you can also see bits of Banner in him. Like it just, it works. I think it's a really good use of the character.
I also think like the mocap for him is better than it. Yeah. And he just looks cool because he looks too much like Ruffalo. Yeah. As Smart Hulk. Mm-hmm. Like you should be able to see that it's Ruffalo, and it should be obviously it's based on his body. It should be.
I do think this is the best Hulk they've had in this film.
For sure, I agree.
By a country mile.
I agree because we don't really get him again.
No,
that's the problem. Like, a 2-year-old who can talk and emote is just a 3-year-old. Okay, the 3-year-old.
Moving from Hulk, I did say this earlier. I do think this is Loki's best film for so many. I think what they.
I think just
Yeah, I know what you're about to say.
It's just
right.
their best film.
Yeah,
like across the board. I don't think it's the best MCU film, but it's Thor's
for characters.
Best.
It's.
I think it's.
Or for the characters that are in this, I should say.
Yeah, although I do, eking out, I may prefer the arc and everything that we get for Thor in Infinity War.
Yeah, but problem is that Infinity War is so intrinsically linked with Endgame, and they fuck it hard in Endgame.
They do, but when we watch Infinity War, the Endgame hasn't happened yet.
This is true.
So I pretend... This is why that Endgame is nowhere near as good as it should be. It's the whole... That movie is 3 hours of making of fat shaming and making fun of depression. That's literally all what that movie is. So it's a bit like, as a fat sad man, it wasn't great.
Who's now playing Fortnite as well? Are you bro Thor? Does this make me Korg? I don't know. Or am I meek? I feel like I'm probably more meek.
I was about to make a terrible joke that I will tell you off air. Right. It was a good joke.
I believe you. It normally is.
Yeah.
But Loki, I think what they do with Loki in this, it works as well, is obviously they bring him back, fine. Well, we know he's not dead. But the way they use him in this, like, not as an antagonist, but still as causing some issues and him having to kind of...
He's an antagonist.
But he's not the antagonist.
No, he's an one.
Yeah.
But it's also... He's a mild nuisance.
He's a nuisance, but they use it as an opportunity for him to grow. And in a way that contextually, again, makes sense that he would, because he's forced to hang around with Thor and he's forced to see what Thor's doing and go, oh, I get it. And talk to him and like...
And also just the more he hangs around with Thor, he just remembers that he's not a dick.
Yeah.
He just remembers that he didn't really actually want any of the stuff that he tried to get. It was just that it was never offered to him. But it was offered to... All of it was offered to Thor, and that fucking pissed him off and made him jealous.
Yeah.
And then the more he actually spends time with his brother as opposed to trying to fucking kill him, he's like... Yeah, I don't actually have a problem with him. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things.
And learns to trust him and wants to be on his side as we get by the end. What we get at the beginning of Infinity War is him being like, I'm not going to betray my brother. Yeah, he gets it and he learns and he grows. And I think they do a really good job with that in this film as well. And again, some great humour between the two of them. Big fan of Get Help. Yeah, a big fan of Get Help. Oh. Especially the bit at the end when they're on the bridge. Like, what are we doing? And he's like, I'm not doing Get Help. As if it would have helped in that situation anyway.
Help him! That's great.
Yep, big fan.
Valkyrie is great, hence ellipsis.
Oh, I see.
Valkyrie's great. Hence, ellipsis. That is called an ellipsis.
Yes. I was just being an absolute fool.
I have said that the world's collective intelligence is getting lower. And when I've said that, I have always said, myself included.
I feel like this is a dig at me, and I think it's unfair.
No. I was just saying, like, everyone's getting a bit more stupid, I think.
I blame the internet.
Something in the water.
Probably.
Something in the water. Yes. Just Twitter is what's making everyone a bit more stupid. But
apparently 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4 anymore.
Oh, yeah, no, that's racist.
Fuck off.
This was a real interview, by the way. Just want to point that out. All I can say to that woman is drown in semen.
Just not ours.
Oh, that might be the most vulgar thing ever said in this channel. Moving
Probably,
on, let's pretend I haven't said it. She breaks the hammer. That's very sad. Doctor Strange is very funny in this movie.
Doctor Strange is funny in this movie. I like that whole section.
No, we got that.
I've stalled.
I've been
Grandmaster.
falling for 30 minutes.
Grandmaster, I really like the fucking stuff when he first meets Thor.
Any other planet, I'd be about 1 million years old, but here I just...
There's so much of this sequence I like, though, of the fucking weird going through this fucking, like, weird tunnel thing on the chair. And, this music play, and then just Thor just screaming. Like, I really like all of that. And this bit, he's talking to Thor, and you can see...
I don't know why I looked over there. Collectively dumber. Yeah.
You could see Loki behind him, but out of focus. Mm-hmm. And then just sort of brings into focus this film. And then when he looks over, he's like, Loki. And the way he just looks over and just stands up, it's so funny. It's like, what the fuck? Okay, right. And the fucking melting stick. I have
pardoned you from life.
The melting stick scene is so funny to me. Chris Hemsworth in that is hilarious. Just this absolute horror. Oh my god! It's hilarious. There's something about that which is so funny every time I watch it. The smell.
Can't think if it starts with a B. Trash. Were you just waiting to call her that? It doesn't start with a B.
There's a bit later on as well, and it's like, don't interrupt me. And she just hands him. He's like, why are you handing me the melting stick? It's funny. Very good film.
It is a very good film.
I do think it's let down by a poor villain that's uninteresting. Mm-hmm. But it's a small letdown overall.
I actually would have preferred if the whole thing was about Surtur.
Yeah, but I think in a way it kind of is, because obviously the whole point is, and what he works out is like.
Well, he's the solution.
He's the solution. He's like, we have to make Ragnarok happen. We're not supposed to be
clever
stopping
foreshadowing.
Ragnarok. Yeah, we're supposed to make Ragnarok happen. That's what we're supposed to do. And I think I like all that, actually. We haven't, I've just realised what we've not spoken about and we should have done. Well, isn't the invisible cunt?
Fucking Billy Butcher, Carl Urban. My stuff.
He's so good in this as
He's excellent. Oh my god. Carl Urban is just great.
He is.
He's just top tier. I do think he is excellent in this.
What?
That was him with the shake weight.
Oh! You were just miming a two-hand wank mid-show for some reason.
Mid-sentence as well. No, it's when obviously Thor's calling up.
Oh, I remember.
And he's just standing there like... Oh, it's so good.
He is funny.
I do think he's underutilized. Because he was really funny, and then in that scene, and then he doesn't really get any more jokes.
No.
He's just used as the executioner for Hela. But I feel like he was underutilized, criminally so. But it's fine. Billy Butcher. We've got 3 seasons, and we're getting a 4th season of Billy Butcher, so it's fine.
Nice.
It's fine. Rumours of Dread 2 as well. About fucking time if that's the case, because that movie came out 11 years ago and was phenomenal. Have you seen Dread?
I've not.
You should. It's real good.
I've heard of it.
It's real good. Real good. Anyone who hasn't seen the Carl Urban, not the Sylvester Stallone version of Dread, watch it. Real good. Real good. Gavin from the slow-mo guys did a lot of work on it.
On Dread.
Mm.
Nice.
Because there's a drug called slow. Is it called slow-mo or is it called just slow or something? Where it obviously just makes everything feel like it's in slow-mo.
Nice.
So there's a lot of really cool slow-mo in that. Did you know he did? Have you seen the Robert Downey Sherlock Holmes movies?
Yes.
Did you know he did the in the sequel the scene running through the forest?
I did not. I know he's done a lot of work on films.
It's such a weird niche talent to have, isn't it? Slow motion, but good enough. Outrageous. It's a great film. Great film. But it's a weird niche talent to have, but it's a fucking cool one. But anyway, do you have anything else to add about Thor Ragnarok?
I mean, the best stuff about it is obviously, as I say, good use of humor. I think it's a really good job of evolving the characters, the main characters in particular being Thor, Loki, and Hulk. But the use of the side characters it introduces is really strong as well, and has created some characters which have become mainstays, which are really important. Like, I think Valkyrie's really good. I think that works really well. I think they've got that right balance of the tone in this one between the comedy and the action. The action's still serious, which makes for essentially just a fun film to watch, which I think is what these movies need to be. They need to be fun, and then when it needs to be properly serious, it is, and it has its moments. And obviously, it's building to... I think this is a smart choice, because we're about to get some really deep, dark shit for a couple of movies. And I think it's really good that we've got this much... sort of more happiness, I guess. This lighter tone here to contrast what we get in the next few, or start to get in the next few. I think it's really important. It's a shame that, I've been trying to work out, it's like, I've kind of had Marvel fatigue recently, and I've been trying to work out what it is. Am I just getting bored of Marvel? But watching these movies through, it's like, no, I'm not, because these are fucking great. Some of the earlier ones I was thinking, maybe I'm bored of Marvel, but now we've gotten to like this really good stuff. It's like, not at all. I can watch these. They're stunning.
They are genuinely getting worse. It's not fatigue.
Yeah, and it's like they are.
It's
it's
fatigue that's come from the fact that they are
getting worse. But it's also, I can pinpoint it. I can also pinpoint the problems. I can really pinpoint them. Even more so after watching this, because I'm going, oh yeah, this is good. This works. And then you can suddenly see why. Like the comparison between this and Thor: Love and Thunder is clear as fuck. Why that film is not as good. It's not good.
No,
like,
it
stands out clearly as to why it's not good. Which isn't taken away from these films, but it is giving me a better sense of clarity.
Sure, no, it takes nothing away from the ones that are already out, obviously, because we've been gushing.
This
over
film
many of them.
looks great as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's visually brilliant. Other than that
Stunning.
fucking header fight scene I don't like, so much stuff they're doing with the colours and things looks great. Again, and for me, another very strong argument of everything should be IMAX at all times.
Agreed.
Just full screen at the end of the day is really all I want. It just fucking looks so good.
And it's so much better.
I think more of this film is in the full screen IMAX aspect ratio as well than isn't.
Yeah, but
which irritates me more.
Worse,
It's like, just fucking do it all like it then.
Just render it, for fuck's sake. Like, I know it was shot in that.
Because that's what camera's shooting.
Yeah. You purposefully do that on purpose. You're a bastard. Like, TVs haven't been that aspect ratio ever.
No, they haven't.
And more home media is becoming important. Like, more important. Like, it's all, like, since it began, it has been an important part of the industry. A lot of Matt Damon talked about when he was on Hot Ones that so much of the money he made off of his films came from like DVD sales. Like, so much of it came from that, not just cinema tickets, but and he's like, well, that's fucking essentially gone now with streaming. But like, focus more on what just the fucking screen you're watching it on.
Like, you can have two different prints of the film. That happens all the time. So you can do a print in ultra widescreen for your cinemas. You can even...
Yeah, I'm not saying don't have... because otherwise it will look stupid in the cinema.
Yeah.
Have both.
But you can even put the option out. You used to be able to. You used to be able to buy videos in either widescreen or not back on VCR. I remember, because I know my mum had Star Wars and then Star Wars in a widescreen version. which was 16:9, despite the fact that most TVs were 14:9. So why can't they still do that? Why can't you buy an ultra wide, or just have a fucking ultra wide version on your disc? Or if not, even if you're talking physical release, if we're talking digital medium, even less excuse. There are 2 versions of this film on Disney Plus.
Yep.
There is an IMAX version and a non-IMAX version. For fuck's sake.
Yep.
Why can't it all then just be like the fucking? It really irritates me because it's dumb.
Or just do it so it plays the one that fits the thing you're watching it on.
That can't be that hard to sort out.
If you're watching, well, it doesn't, because they do it for resolution, don't they?
Well, yeah, exactly. So it can't be hard to work out from aspect ratio.
And with like Dolby Vision and things like that, so it can't be that fucking difficult. Like if you're watching it on a TV, it plays it in the 21:9 or 16:9. That's what I meant. 21:9 is the one I want to avoid.
Yes.
I
mean, technically, the IMAX resolution isn't 16:9 either, but it's close enough.
No, it's not. But the black bars are like this big.
Yes.
This big. And that's on the big TV.
And that is actually only a difference because of NTC and PAL is different.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that.
Yeah, I know. But and then phones are slightly different. So obviously, if you're watching it on a phone, it does a different one. If you're watching it on an iPad, it'll do a different one from that. Whatever it may be. But just auto adjust it, because like this is so. So Hannah says I'm particularly ranty today. That's just because people have been pissing me off today. Like there's so much. Don't even get me started on some of these people.
Okay, I won't.
No,
I really won't. I don't want to. But it looks great. Looks great. So much of it looks wonderful.
You wisely ignored my message about them earlier, because I was going to go off on one.
I mean this in the nicest way possible. Often I have to, for my own sanity.
Yeah.
And then I can't do that today.
No, I do the same to you. It's fine.
Yeah, no, exactly. Sometimes it just has to be.
I was just like, you're going to say something absurd. I'm going to put this away.
I'm not in the mood for this now. No, yeah.
I'm just not going to bother.
Right.
Resident Evil. Anyway, coming up on the channel, we will be back.
What's happening?
Oh, no, sorry. We've got things to do. Score. This is a 9.
Okay, wow, you're going 9.
Yeah.
Interesting. See, I was leaning 8.
I can settle on an 8.
But tell me why 9. Give me your reasoning.
I just think that the only not incredible part of this movie is Hela, which isn't bad. It's just what it is. I think the action's great. I think the comedy is the best that the MCU has seen.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chris Hemsworth is nice to ogle at.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't turn your nose up at Tom Hiddleston or Tessa Thompson either. In terms of that regard.
Said it before. I don't need to say it again.
Exactly. And I think this is the best version, as you've said as well, this is the best version of Loki we've gotten. Valkyrie is a great character, and this is a strong introduction for her. I do think she has better arcs in later movies, but great introduction for a great character. Best we've had of Hulk. And I just think this is the start of what could have been a very, very good MCU going forward. They just
biffed it.
They let Taika Waititi have too much control.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. 9. We're scoring this 9.
Now, where did we rank it with an R?
Let me bring up the rankings so far.
Ooh.
So the ranking so far: first place is Civil War, second place Winter Soldier, third Age of Ultron, followed by Avengers, Spider-Man: Homecoming, number 6, Iron Man 3, 7, Guardians of the Galaxy 8, Iron Man 9, Ant-Man number 10, Doctor Strange number 11, Thor. There is, that's correct. Number 12 is Guardians of the Galaxy 2, 13 Iron Man 2, 14 Captain America. At 29 we have Hulk, and at number 30, where it shall remain, is Thor 2. Tough one. High up.
Third or fourth? It's hard. If you said like, just put on a film, we're not really like watching it, we just want something nice in the background, I'd say this would probably eke out above all of them. This is a nice casual watch film just for a good time.
Yeah.
In terms of what's a better film, what I genuinely think is a better film, I think both the Caps are better. I do thoroughly enjoy Age of... I think it's probably third.
See, I was about to really come in with a curveball. I was gonna really like fucking
You're going to put it in like fifth or something?
2.
Oh.
I don't think this is a better movie than Civil War. I really don't.
I don't think it's better than Winter Soldier.
See, I think it is in a way, but it's difficult because it's quite a different movie.
They are very different movies.
So it's very, very hard to do it. And then really, for me, it's literally just a subjection thing there.
Of course. It entirely is. Yeah.
Because, as you say, it's an easier watch. I would, if you ask me, what do you want to watch today? Thor Ragnarok or Winter Soldier? I'd say Thor Ragnarok. So I would go 2, but I can happily settle for 3. I don't think it should be lower than 3, though. This is above Age of Ultron, I think, for me.
Yeah, what you're saying about Winter Soldier is exactly where I am with Age of Ultron. I think I might, if I really thought about it and broke all the different elements down, I would prefer Age of Ultron. Purely from like a character point of view, and I fucking love the character of Ultron. But no, I would put it above.
We've got 2 votes for 3 in the chat.
Do we?
Yeah, Hannah says, I put this above Ultron, as would Matt.
But then she says, I'm with Chris.
She does say that.
I think this is the only film in the MCU that my parents have watched. Fair enough.
It's a good one.
It's a good one to have only watched. I don't know how you watch this movie and go and then not go, I'm interested in the rest.
Yes.
But I mean, you would be disappointed. But if that's what you were expecting. But I would encourage. But I don't think it's better than Winter Soldier.
I can settle for 3, but I think it's 3 if it's not 2. I think
it's 3, yeah. I mean, like, I wouldn't put it below Ultron for this ranking.
That sounds like a decision then.
Cool, it's third.
There you go. So, Thor Ragnarok's in 3rd place, below Winter Soldier and above Age of Ultron.
Pretty solid ranking, to be fair.
I think so.
It's a pretty accurate ranking. Coming up on the channel, we'll be playing Resident Evil in a few moments, and I'm very excited. It was very funny last week, so I'm hoping that continues.
Don't forget, it means the stream will end while I fuck with the things, because the software doesn't let me change it whilst I'm on air. It's dumb, so it will come to an end, and then it will come back on air again.
That is the way the cookie crumbles.
I also need a serious toilet break.
Indeed.
Just giving you a heads up.
That's fine. It's fine. He's going to shit himself. Lovely. Friday, we will have Gaming with Daddy. I will keep calling it that until
a better name
there is an official title otherwise. We will have Gaming with Daddy back with... no,
I'm actually not.
Outrageous behaviour.
I'm actually not. I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Outrageous. Fucking nerd. I don't know what you're playing. I presume Fortnite. I presume more Fortnite. And then next Saturday, of course, Admit One continues with Black Panther.
I'm looking forward to giving it another watch. But it's not Thor Ragnarok, is it?
No.
Does mean Infinity War's after that, though.
It does. It does. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, stick around. We will be back in a few minutes playing Resident Evil, and it'll be funny, and there might be poo. Through fear and comedy. And until next time, we shall see you then.
Goodbye.
Bye.